Oh yeah. What up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka the black man that secured a PS5, aka the black man that don't have to succumb to a sugar mama to get a PS5, aka the 150-time social distancing champion, aka this one's for the no, aka pour one out for the people that didn't get a PS5 pre-order. RIP. RIP. Press F to pay respects. But then again, there are little opportunities popping up. It just might be much harder now. But yeah, welcome to Switch's Sites, my gaming podcast where I talk about just that. Today's date is September 17th, 2020. Man, this week has been very eventful to say the least. Pretty jam packed. Yeah, just the pre-ordering fervor has erupted. A lot of butt hurtness. I understand it. Graphics cards starting to come out. Well, apparently, depending on how some of these people got these bots set up to like just hammer these sites and instantly buy stuff when, general public can. But I digress. Anyway, oh yeah, I forgot the world is still horrible too, so we have that. But let's stop the dilly dally and get right into it. First topic of discussion, of course, PlayStation 5 showcase. PlayStation 5 showcase. They announced this like Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. I think they announced that they were going to have the event this Wednesday, past Wednesday. And man, I have to say, PlayStation showed out. They showed out, pretty much completely overshadowed all of what Xbox did. Very much so. Just disrespected Xbox like that. In, the most respectful way possible. But I don't know. I feel like they did everything they needed to do. They showed the games, the exclusives even that you won't get on Xbox. They what else? I'm trying to remember. They had some weird pseudo Game Pass thing too. I guess apparently it's not Game Pass after I think Jim Ryan he made a statement saying that it was just it's not Game Pass equivalent or saying that it's unfeasible for us to do that or something. So there was that. And then of course they hit the price, So I guess it's a lot to dissect. That definitely engaged me a lot, but let's just try to dissect as much as possible. So I guess we'll try to do somewhat of a play by play. So, it started with this very, very like intrinsic, I think that's the word, like startup or, lobby type deal where they had this looping video with this calming, PlayStation-y music. I feel like we're at that point now, like almost, yeah, PlayStation just has its own, unique PlayStation-y music. That's the only way I can describe it. But there was that. That actually kept me interested longer than I'd like to admit. Not sure if that attests to my intelligence or what, but I digress. I mean, let's not focus on let's not focus on that. What else? They yeah, of course. After that, they had they started off with the goddamn big guns. They were not playing. They were not playing with us. So out of nowhere, they just straight up dropped Final Fantasy 16. Just oh yeah, hey, here's FF 16. Here you go. Just out of nowhere. Um, it was interesting. I mean, I feel like this medieval fantasy setting is yeah really starting to get get rolled a little too hard as of late. Almost is pretty much up there with a zombie outbreak, post apocalyptic zombie outbreak settings. So kind of had that against it, but it's interesting. It seems like it's taken FF7 and or F Final Fantasy in general in some directions we've never, I don't think, at least I haven't seen before. I guess specifically the violence that took me off guard. I don't think you can ever really associate Final Fantasy with being violent, but it was some straight up gore in this that it was I guess tasteful, for lack of a better term, is the best way to describe it. But it's like, damn, just decapitated dude, blood and everything. Like in like previous Final Fantasy games, normally at least the impression I'd get is that they cut their head off, it'd just be clean, no blood, no gore, no nothing. Wouldn't even get any form of visualization or a lead to your imagination about it. So there was that. Um, Pretty much all the mainstays were in there. The Kokobos, Ifrit, Shiva. Um, yeah, that was really it in terms of just the general mainstays that I noticed, at least. But all around, does seem interesting. I'm, I like how I'm saying this, having only played Final Fantasy VII. I guess you could technically count FF7 remake as another one, but just watching other Final Fantasies in past in terms of various random cutscenes or B movie cuts and stuff. Um, Probably the only other, I guess, form of familiarity I have with it. But as somebody who's only played FF7, it did seem pretty interesting. Especially, I can't believe I forgot the combat, which looks to be even more actiony than Final Fantasy VII, even, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But yeah, it's like a lot of people were making comparisons to Devil May Cry, and they're like straight up legit because it does. Like, let's say if somebody's walking in and you're playing this, knowing of Devil May Cry, they be like, "Is this Devil May Cry? Is this new sequel or something?" That's how ridiculously close it is. I think they they brought on a director or producer or somebody who did specific combat work for Devil May Cry, I believe. Either Devil May Cry or Bayonetta. I forgot which, but I'm pretty sure it's one of those that they brought on this combat lead for that specifically. So, I mean, yeah, he kind of got me at that as well. So, action as well as Final Fantasy. I guess I don't want to put them in a box, not even playing it, but Final Fantasy tropes. I guess I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, definitely a pretty good trailer overall. Just Final Fantasy 16. Like, damn, okay, all right, that's where we're at. So, um, that was cool. What came after that? FF16. Oh, of course, man. Freaking Miles Morales, man. game, looking gracious. That man, that boy looking fly as I don't know what, man. They got his hair right, don't have to like, just don't have like a third party, character or whatever. I forgot. It's like a meme that was going around. Like, I think it was some dude with like some black dude with like white. I mean, it's the only way I could say it. White people hair. Okay, hair you wouldn't traditionally see on a black person. So, it is so true though. So, oh man, oh that's funny when you think about it. But, so there's a dude that um, yeah, it was basically some meme where he had like some like spiked out hair, and it's like traditionally black people don't wear that hairstyle. Of course they can, but I'm just saying you traditionally, generally generally don't see that on people of the black descent. Okay, so there is that. But it's funny, man. Oh man, yeah, no, just like it's so good to see like a fully realized, person of color, actually accurately represent his color. Having a straight up defined haircut. Nothing like it was great to see, man. It was great to see. It was great to see, man. Really was. Uh, no like white hairstyle on a black guy or whatever that you're forced to do in other other games when you create your character. It's funny. Oh man, just the thought of that. Just thinking about it, reflecting back on it now, like so many times, because of lack of, what's the term? Ethnically appropriate hairstyles, that accurately represent someone's nationality. Um, you're forced to I'm a black dude with like a Backstreet Boys haircut. Like, how does that work? But okay, all right. I'm gonna go with it though. Hey, I mean, this is my character. I made him, so I'm owning it. That's definitely always been my mentality. So I swear, any game that does that, it's like instant bonus points. Like Monster Hunter World, like come on. Iceborne, I think Iceborne specifically. Um, Showing out, man, paving the way for acceptance and uh, inclusion of greater nationalities. You always love to see it, but saw Miles Morales looking flawless. He killing it. He could pull any girl right now. He not at that stage yet, but he could. Let's be honest. So, pretty much showed cutscene of him walking down and exploring what I believe was Brooklyn, or Marvel's version of Brooklyn, which I guess is still Brooklyn, but So man, and just looking at that environment, you could tell like this is a straight up PS5 game. I don't think you could do this on PS4, but it's like when I think about that, I think they actually did confirm that this is also going to be available on PS4 as well. So totally throws that out the window. But either way, you definitely saw the improvements of this game on the capabilities of it being on a PS5 console. So that was pretty great. And I guess that was the other thing too for FF16. They said for this that game it was on like a PC with the specs of a PS5. But when they switched to this game, they said here on out all these games will be on PS5, or this is actual game footage from PS5. So, but yeah, man, game looked beautiful. Then they showed some of the gameplay. That was really good. Typical Spider-Man with Miles Morales' spin on it. Shouts out to the freaking Third Street Saints from Saints Row making their cameo appearance in this game now. I guess they Marvel made a deal with Volition to include the characters, include the Saints Row cast in this Miles Morales game. So you love to see it. You love to see it. um. So yeah, man, good trailer. Um, there's a little bit of confusion in terms of potential controversy, more than likely, considering with this game they released two SKUs, at least the pre-order and stuff. So for Miles Morales, they have the standard edition, and then they have the what do they call it? The Ultimate Edition that includes Miles Morales as well as Spider-Man Remastered, which um, includes, I guess, obviously the original Spider-Man game, but remastered for the PS5. But that obviously posed the question: well, if I already bought Spider-Man for PS4, do I have to buy it again then to play this, or play it? Technically, I guess you could play Spider-Man on PS5 still, but you wouldn't have the upgraded improvements for the capabilities of the PS5. But apparently, well, we don't know yet, but potentially you might have to buy this again if you want the benefits of the next gen. So potential, unfortunate point, but it is what it is. I think it's cheaper than the standard price, which is, I guess that's another good point to touch on. So I think it was a lot of confusion, uncertainty in the air regarding prices for next generation games. It seems like the likely price is probably going to start being $70 now, but with NBA 2K21 and Black Ops Cold War pretty much keeping that train going, and now it seems like that actually is somewhat solidified now with pretty much all the these pre-release games or games slated to release along with the console will be $70. So RIP to the long lasting $60 price for games now. They're long gone. Long gone. It's like initially, I was like, oh man, this freaking sucks, man. But then it's like when you think about it, especially consider how much you play a game, ideally, hopefully you don't get a sucky ass game, but ideally you thoroughly enjoy it. If you do the math, like let's say game is generally like, uh, I'd say average is like 15-20 hours, typical average game. You do the math. I mean, what that kind of generally adds up to, like, what, not even like, man, well, you know what? I'm not the best at math. Let's do it. Let's do it real quick. So let's say on average 15 hours divided by 70. That's maybe that's not the best way to do it, but adds up to about maybe if you round it up, not even, maybe like, no, this is not accurate at all. You get you get what I'm saying though. Essentially, what I guess generally like maybe five, like a dollar an hour, kind of, maybe not really though, maybe two. Point I'm trying to make is it's like similar to you putting a quarter in a machine to play an arcade game. It feels like just maybe longer than that, especially potential replaying and stuff like that. Where I have issue though is that I feel like it gets fuzzier when it comes to DLC and stuff like that too. that's where I think it's gonna rile some people up, and it is what it is, I guess. I mean, I guess we couldn't expect for the prices to stay this way forever, but I don't know. Still kind of sucks. You're so used to a particular price for games, and now $10 more kind of sucks. Guess ultimately you just have to be more stringent with games you pick out, which generally I feel like I am. Just the problem is like all these games are so good and I want to play them. It's just first world problems, really, essentially. Um, and then further supports developers to even make bigger games in the long run. At least that's how I like to think about it. But who knows? Hopefully, it just doesn't all go to a CEO, greedy CEO, and doesn't pay their employees, which I think is hopefully few and far between. But I digress. Went on a tangent, but I think that's pretty important to kind of point out, considering a lot of us going into this generation. So, um, yeah. So Miles Morales was dope. I think after that, I think they showed Resident Evil 8. They showed it seemed pretty much roughly the same, nothing necessarily hugely revelatory. Just maybe some additional environments, kind of a little bit more slight insight on the characters, including the game. Probably the biggest reveal from the trailer was the what a lot of people are thinking is the merchant. I mean, he does pretty much clearly state that. I forgot what he said, but we have a nice selection of things for you, or something like that. He said something along those lines that was like obviously only a merchant could say. And the rumors were saying that there is a new merchant. So yeah, people are saying he looks like a freaking penguin, and it's freaking accurate because he does. It's like, what you doing aren't you supposed to be in Batman? What you doing in Resident Evil 8? But so that's pretty funny. Um, Looking forward to it. I hope he's as charming and memorable as the merchant from RE4 for sure. I think um they're they're supposed to Capcom was supposed to have some pretty chunky like breakdown of the game, I think, at least in August, but that didn't happen, presumably due to COVID. But I think it might probably happen around TGS, which is coming up next week. So I think that's probably the case for a lot of these Japanese games as well. Um, so yeah, pretty great. Love it. Can't wait to play on it. They did say 2021. I think they gave us that date before during the initial PS5 showcase. So um, I guess it kind of lines up. I don't know. So what else? It was that, and I think after that, I believe they showed Dark Souls, which man, that game looks so damn pretty. I cannot wait to just look at that game as I'm getting killed multiple times over and over again in 4K. And I guess they also mentioned, I guess after the trailer gameplay, that I guess the game loads insanely fast after you die, which I think is going to be very helpful for a lot of us that are going to be hurting in pain from dying. So there's that. But overall, man, yeah, that game just looks freaking next gen. It's like if you need some game, like think of like, man, what's next gen gonna look like? That Dark Souls, I mean Demon Souls. I think I was saying Dark Souls. I meant Demon Souls. Is it? Is it? That just straight up feels next gen, man. The environments look so good. I recently I consider it recent, but it was like what 2 years ago, which I feel is fairly recent when it comes to game time, if that makes sense. But it's gonna be pretty interesting for me having somewhat a fresh kind of memory of the game, the original, and playing everything again in, remastered fashion. So it's, I guess, kind of cool that I already kind of did it already, uh, without, fully knowing this was for sure going to happen. And it's been a rumor for the longest, but now actually being solidified and tangible, and it's gonna be a release game like coming along with the PS5. So I think that bet I made, I still got to check that out. It's been a while since I made a bet. I just made a straight up balls the wall bet that Demon Souls will be announced, come out this year, and I am so happy that came to be true. I know that game is going to be great. I'm going to get going to be scoring like 90, 90, 95s. My publisher label is going to do great. Going to do great. So, very excited for the game for a lot of reasons. um, so yeah. What else? Just think they announced a Five Nights at Freddy's game. I guess it seems like a sequel to the PC one, or maybe like some new spin-off, or yeah, it felt like it was a spin-off, possibly sequel, but I feel like it would be weird to alienate the people that never played Five Nights at Freddy's, include myself. I'm familiar with the lore. I think I like just binged some game theory, which maybe not be the best accurate, I guess retelling, but it did spoil a lot of the general story and I guess interpretations of the story, considering it's like somewhat of a Dark Souls Destiny-esque, where a lot of it feels led up to interpretation for you to kind of figure out and piece together, and or like formulate your own type of, I guess, perception of it. So um yeah, so that's kind of potentially interesting. I don't know. Hopefully that'd be cheaper. I guess, I don't know. I feel like with Five Nights at Freddy's always associated with it as a cheaper game, not really a high quality AAA game for, I don't know, I guess just the I don't know, the fundamentals of it, if that makes sense. I don't know, just like the basicness of it. I don't know. Oh, and then freaking man, it's just crazy. It's like literally majority of these games, like I want to play freaking Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. Like, come on, man. You know I wanted that, Capcom. Thank you. Appreciate you so much. So, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. A lot of us were speculating it, hoping it would happen, and it seems like it will. We at least get Virgil as a playable character, which a lot of us wanted. But we don't know. We don't know if like Trish, or Lady, or maybe even Nico are in. I would assume so, because I feel like with Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, they were playable as well. I don't see why they wouldn't in this one, especially they kind of have the template of his, all of their character, designs and animations and stuff. Feel like, because I felt like a lot of Virgil's moves were, improved upon and elaborated on, but it a lot of it seemed to base off his Devil May Cry 4 version, even 3 as well. So, but man, he looked pretty damn dope though, admittedly. Like, it was pretty dope that he can like summon V or his kind of a part of himself, which is pretty cool. It feels like he's like a somewhat of a Devil Trigger mode kind of thing, where he does even more damage than he would generally would in the main or base game. So they also announced some like improvements like RTX, ray tracing, a freaking 120 FPS mode, which hell Yes, thank you. Definitely. Um, I think that's all the at least the information we got. Um, yeah. Also, it's gonna be on Series X, so have no fear. Xbox cheer. So there was that. I know there was some controversy. Apparently, at least as of now, they said these improvements aren't gonna be coming to the PC version, which is the weirdest thing ever. I don't see why not, unless they're trying to do some. Maybe people are interpreting it as them trying to do some, shady thing where they're like making you buy the game all over again. Which if that's the case, that's regardless still messed up. But I think it's not coming regardless. I don't even think the special edition content either. So that's kind of messed up. Hopefully there's some clarification, but I don't see them doing that. Maybe it's some time exclusivity thing. That'd be the only thing I could think of. But if so, that's real messed up regardless. So yeah, there is that. Um, Great to get that confirmation. Hopefully they improve the co-op that actually you can actually play legitimately with people now or something like that. Or I don't know, at least give us Bloody Palace with, 3 players or whatever. Up it up from Devil May Cry um 3 special edition. So we'll see. Overall, it's pretty great. An awesome excuse to play some more Devil May Cry, I'd say. I definitely am. Hopefully they let you transfer it. No, I don't think they will. So I think from every special edition game, you had to start a new save. It just would be a pain if you had to. Hopefully they clarify some of those details because yeah, that would be a pain overall. But it's coming out. It's gonna be coming out at release digitally for PS5. So that's pretty awesome. I think the physical edition is coming later. So love it. Love it. See, it's like so far, it's like uh Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, Demon Souls, Final Fantasy 16. It's like these some big hitters. So it's crazy. Um Trying to remember what came after that. Uh Man, let me recap. Trying to remember. Oh yeah, I think I initially talked about it a little bit, but PS5, what do they call it? PS5 first? PS5 something, where essentially apparently you get all of these PS4 games for free, I believe. I believe it's just a whole stock of PS4 games you can claim in the same way as PS Plus, I think. Something like that. But they had like Mortal Kombat 10, Uncharted 4, The Last of Us Remastered, God of War, Resident Evil 7. I might be missing a few, but it was a fair amount of games. If you, especially for somebody who's not played any of those, an insanely good deal. So maybe it's just a good I don't know, goodwill type deal or something. It initially felt like um a Game Pass competitor, but it wasn't. I feel like I already talked about that. I don't know. Either way, that was I think somewhat after that. And then was that it? It was just probably some other games that didn't really catch my eye. Oh, I forgot about Deathloop. Deathloop was pretty cool. I still feel like I really don't know 100% what that game is about. Like if it is PvP or PEP, um, PvP, or I guess a mix of both. Because I don't. Yeah, it's very confusing, but I think it's kind of like, I guess, maybe Titanfall is somewhat of the best way to think about it, where you fight against real players, but you can also fight uh AI as well, which I think that's kind of the case also, where I think it's maybe 1v1, and then there's AI as well. And I guess at least what I could potentially interpret is that one other person on the opposing side of you will try to thwart you from whatever you're doing in terms of the main, I guess, character, the black guy trying to do. I don't know. I'm interested either way. It had a lot of cool aspects to it with the, Groundhog Day vibes, as well as the weaponry and just overall feel. Felt like something up my alley. So I don't think that's immediately coming out at release of the console, but maybe I think a little bit after. So there's Deathloop. Um, oh yeah, that was the thing too. FF16 was exclusive, console exclusive. They said it is still coming on PC though. So um, there is that. There is that. Trying to think if there was anything else, but let me do a quick recap real quick just to make sure. I feel like I'm forgetting something that stood out, but I'm not sure what. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy. So man, boy, it's some stuff about this game. So the rumored Harry Potter game actually ended up being true. So trailer looked pretty good, gameplay looked pretty good, but I mean, it's just that weird ominous this is supporting J.K. Rowling, is it? I don't want it. I don't want it at all. As somebody who, like, way a long time ago, used to read Harry Potter and stuff, but fell out of it as I grew up. I was like, man, it's kind of pretty tight. I might have to check it out. I'm like, J.K. Rowling though. I'm good. Not supporting that. So that's where we're at with that. A lot of people are sharing the same sentiments for a very good reason. Um, so yeah, fuck J.K. Rowling. Just gonna say that right now. Either way. Um, actually, that was pretty quicker than I thought. So never mind. Oh yeah, Black Ops Cold War. They did show like an exclusive, I guess, tidbit of the campaign where it was pretty interesting in terms of, I guess, they're supposed to execute some terrorist guy. I mean, let's be honest, Black Ops, Call of Duty, it's not much you can deviate from that. So yeah, at least the trailer was like they were the gameplay. They were like, yeah, we need to execute blah blah blah. So it seems like they were about to execute him. They shot the shot, straight ripped off a sniper. Is that the game? Yeah, I think it's called Sniper. Sniper. I think it's called Sniper. The one where you sniper. The one where you snipe. Um. So yeah, Sniper, and yeah, so they did the straight rip off a sniper. Didn't shoot the terrorist, but I guess one of his goons, which actually made me very curious since they did confirm that there will be multiple endings and multiple, I guess, ramifications of your decisions. I'm curious if you actually shoot shot him successfully, that if one, that's possible, and two, that totally branches out to a whole different, I guess, storyline, if that makes sense. Basically like Black Ops 2. So that definitely raised an eyebrow. I'm like, yeah, I'm curious if can you actually kill him right there. But have to wait and see. It didn't feel. I mean, I guess it kind of maybe felt scripted, but it seemed like it. You could have actually killed him possibly, and that at least what they showed that they failed and they had to make up for it, or the story still goes on, but maybe it would branch out differently if you actually were able to successfully shoot him or land the shot. So that was cool. They did show that you can actually use human shields in this one, which is awesome. I mean, biggest thing for me though, I really hope you can uh use it in multiplayer. That'd be pretty dope if they actually managed to implement that, but I doubt it. I would want it though. I mean, as I guess impractical and wonky as it would be. I mean, considering Gears of War handles it pretty well. You're just technically dead while you're taking using a person as a human shield, but I mean, it still would be cool. Just give a little but I guess I don't know. Considering how the time to kill is so quick in Black Ops, I don't think they'll bother with it. Would be a delightful surprise. We'll see. Maybe in that was another thing too. And on top of that, they announced the alpha exclusively for PS4, PlayStation owners. Um, this weekend, I think it goes live early tomorrow. It's pretty dope. So apparently, it's the build that pretty much everybody got to play. All the content creators, or Call of Duty content creators, got to play a while back. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I mean, it's like I was about to finish Tony Hawk, but I'm like, oh well, now my weekend is planned already. So looking forward to that. Yeah, they pretty much confirmed what they already talked about their Call of Duty announcement presser or whatever, like a week ago, I think. So there is that. Um, what else after that? Yeah, Deathloop, Devil May Cry, Oddworld, Soulstorm, and then Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Security Beach. Yeah, I guess it's like at least how they're describing it here from a Geek Culture article. So for the Five Nights at Freddy game, more animatronic cores on the way, with Five Nights at Freddy Security Breach moving the franchise to a brand new location with even more terrors lying in the dark, more security cams, more mystery, perfect for a new console launch. So I guess it's kind of like, it feels like it's going to be something like God of War, where it's, clearly a continuation, but not necessarily a direct, it's hard to describe, where it is a sequel, but you don't necessarily need to know the previous games, but it does help. It's a weird spot, but it feels like that's what that's gonna be. So but yeah, I think that was pretty much it, at least the highlights. And then after that, they did it. They revealed that price. And as I predicted, I think a lot of people did too. I think other people were saying 450, 500, but I was thinking, I don't know, to directly compete with Xbox Series Series S and X, or I just call it Xbox Series. They need to at least have it 500 and 400 to try and compete, and they did. So the main console, and that's even weirder. I forgot what they freaking call it. PS5. I think it's standard, or I think they just call it PS5. Whatever. PS5 Standard Edition, that comes with the disc tray, is 500, and the PS5 Digital Edition is 400. But yeah, the only difference is the disk drive. Digital edition doesn't come with a disk drive and is sleeker. Uh, the the standard edition comes with a disk drive. Really, the only difference. So, and it seems like I believe the word is that a lot of people are actually getting the disc edition versus the digital edition, which I feel like makes sense because I mean it's just like how could you ignore just the options? Like I may not play digital, but if I want to go digital, I do have that option. Or if I want maybe get some games on disc, I could, I don't know. Just me, but seems like everybody else just wants to go digital, convenient. I get it though. I mean, they just want convenience, not having to mess with discs all the time. I understand. I get it. I'm kind of jealous about the digital edition though. It seems like it's sleeker in terms of it not having a um or no, having a black uh box, which is like, oh, that's kind of messed up, man. So, which understandably they're trying to differentiate the two. But I feel like why don't you make the disc edition a black box and then the digital edition white? But it's beggars can't be choosers. So I mean, they get money though. You know what I mean? So they dropped the price. So and man, this is just horrible. But they dropped the price and they said pre-orders will open tomorrow, which is today. And man, that did not happen at all. So pretty much for people who were like, okay, all right, tomorrow, got it. Let me go to work, blah blah blah, whatever. You know, not knowing at all that pretty much onslaught of pre-orders all happened literally last night, pretty much. Um, you got some trickling today, but nowhere near as the availability that was yesterday. So yeah, yeah. So I don't know who's at fault with that. I feel like it's Sony because I feel like they probably would want to state that I think it's up to them ultimately. Or I don't know. It's hard to say. That did pique my interest in terms of how that works and who is responsible. I feel like ultimately Sony is responsible because they maybe just gave the go ahead or something. Um, According to Jeff Keighley, who just is in frequent contact with PlayStation, apparently, I think he revealed pre-orders, and that was the other weird thing too, is that they didn't reveal all this information we really wanted to know at the showcase, but we had to, for the enthusiasts as ourselves, look it up and research on it ourselves rather than not put it in the showcase for us for everybody to immediately get. But okay, I guess PlayStation just want to be PlayStation. So yeah. So I mean, it's hard to figure out who's to blame, but it seems like Sony ultimately was the one to blame because I think they ultimately had to go ahead and um because it's like if that's the case, why didn't the Series X start pre-orders like after they announced that it was going to be the 22nd? You know what I mean? I don't know. Just some don't sit right with I guess not blaming the retailers, but just yeah, I feel like they had to have gotten a go ahead because I feel like they would have gotten in trouble if they started doing it without their say so, if that makes sense. So yeah. And then the irony of it all too. It's a lot of irony that did come from this. I guess the first one was it was an interview with Jeff Keighley with the what's his name? I think the director of marketing for Sony PlayStation, um, where he said, "Yeah, I don't get why people were forming lines while we were having our announcement or whatever. But no, we would give you guys advance notice at when you guys will be able to pre-order." And that's exactly pretty much what happened, because it did not happen at all. They did not give any warning or anything. It just, all these pre-orders went, and then people who thought that they were, cool to log off, go to sleep, whatever, just straight up missed out, because they were led to believe that they could, which is, in that respect, pretty messed up. At the same time, though, it's like, I don't know. It's like just a grain of salt, because I don't know. I feel like we don't know officially how that works, especially like, when they announce consoles at E3, and normally that's when the pre-orders go up. That yeah. So luckily for me, I got the notifications on. I was like, you know what? I'm not taking no chances. And I didn't, I didn't take no chances. So, um, yeah, it's messed up. It really is. And then the other irony too, was pretty funny, was, um, I think I talked about on one of the previous episodes, was the inclusion of, what was it? The of the preorders. So basically, PlayStation sent out emails where, hey, if you put your sign up for preorders, where basically you get exclusive pre-order access to pre-order before pre-orders start, I guess. So pretty much those started coming out like like literally like 2-3 hours after all the pre-orders of the major retailers just started happening out of nowhere. So I was like, okay, I guess. So just, all right, then I guess they're not that exclusive. So I don't know. Maybe it was some like this discrepancy with the stores not wanting to, conform to that. That like PlayStation's gonna pre-order first before everybody other retailers can, or something. I don't know. Either way, pretty much the pre-orders immediately pretty much happened shortly after the showcase. It's, if you got one, you got one. If you didn't, you didn't. Ultimately, which is messed up. But at least generally with consoles, they always trickle out some extent. So there you have it. Yeah. Local like GameStop started pre-ordering as well. I was like, am I really gonna do this? And I did. I went, and then I at least the local GameStop I went to, there was like 15 PlayStation 5s apparently. I was like, let me go ahead and just in case, because I feel like these are gonna be real scarce, and pretty much correct about that. So I was like, let me just be sure. And like, luckily, I like right as I was thinking about it, and heard the word that was the case, that like apparently GameStops were taking physical pre-orders. Surely enough, right in time, right as the line started forming, like after I got the pre-order, I got out, and then the whole line started forming after I was like, whew, dodged, bullet dodged. Um, crisis averted. Crisis averted. So yeah, overall, man, just straight travesty. It really was. It's one thing to have it up in the air and not give us a definitive date where we have to kind of speculate, but it's a whole nother thing where you tell us it's gonna happen one date, and then it happens earlier than that. Kind of messed up. Eh, well, I guess PlayStation really doesn't care. I mean, like, hey, we got our money anyway, so yeah, I doubt they're gonna release a statement. We're sorry, we blah blah blah. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna be quiet about this overall. Messed up either way. So yeah, best of luck to you if you didn't get one, if you want one for that matter. You know, some people they just want to let everybody test it out. Well, I forgot people were saying like when you buy a console at release, it's just for the beta phase. You're just a initial beta tester, I guess. So there is that philosophy as well. Um, yeah. So man, moving on. Next topic. That's pretty lengthy, so we'll try to speed through some of these. I think they won't be lengthy. Monster Hunter Rise. So the Nintendo announced a direct coming up. I think a couple days ago, and released this morning. And lo and behold, Monster Hunter Rise. So basically, an exclusive Monster Hunter for Nintendo Switch. Um, where it looks a lot like a modified Monster Hunter from Iceborne World, but it seems like actually it's like straight modified off the RE engine, which has been used for a lot of Capcom games. Devil May Cry, obviously Resident Evil, and other games. Um, but yeah, I thought Monster Hunter World was RE engine, but actually that's an MT framework. But apparently they did modify RE engine to work with the Switch. So yeah. So at least what that tells me is that potentially we might get Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3, possibly Resident Evil 7, maybe Resident Evil 8 down the line to the Switch at some point. Who knows? But that was pretty amazing, and just how good the game looks was pretty astonishing as well. Consider the capabilities of the Switch, and maybe using my frame of reference of one Monster Hunter Generations, which is essentially looks a lot like very 3DS game on the Switch, which is not necessarily horrible. Like the graphics do look pretty decent, but obviously when you have Monster Hunter World out, it doesn't really compare. But that's the biggest thing, just seeing how much it looks close to Monster Hunter World on the Switch, which is pretty crazy. So pretty dope aspects. You have this what looks like a hook now, but I think it's a bug that basically you can like latch on the air and it like pulls you or whatever, which is pretty dope. It felt like the biggest improvement to this game, or biggest notable change overall to the Monster Hunter, I guess, formula, is just the huge sense of like traversal and verticality for sure, where it seems like there's a lot more verticality to the game, where you can like easily traverse up a lot of stuff as well, which brings me to another point, is that they include, what did they call them, Malico, where basically it's a wolf now, which is kind of weird. It's like, I feel like Monster Hunter has always shunned dogs from the game. It's kind of surreal to actually have a dog in the game now, a wolf, or I guess maybe if you want to be technical, but essentially feels like just a dog, but like a dog companion that you can either choose traditional palicos or these new dogs in the game. You can either choose two of the dogs or two of the palicos, or the mix of one or the other, mix of both, which is pretty dope. And then the flagship monsters, I think I forgot the one, what is considered the flagship of the game, Megalodon, Meganolodon. I don't know. I'm somewhere in that ballpark. I know it's a mono something. Not to get mixed with that, but so there's that. What else? Trying to think if there was anything really notable. No, that was really it. Really, just the graphical fidelity is really great. But that leads me to another suspicion that I was thinking, is that I think, cause especially considering the rumors we talked about last episode, it's gotta be this has gotta be for the Switch 4K. Um, Especially the release date. It's like March 31st something, which is, pretty much around the time frame the original Switch launched in 2017. And then yeah, it just seems too on the dot, if you will, of a release date to not especially with the rumors that there will be a Switch coming next year. It seems too damn close. So I'm suspecting that there is gonna be a one Switch 4K, two, this is gonna be like a game, launched with that, or um vetted to, be a flagship title or whatever for it. Probably most likely along with Breath of the Wild 2, if it doesn't get delayed or whatever. Um yeah, I don't know. That game just looks too damn good to be on the Switch, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty certain it's gonna obviously run on our traditional Switches now, but I think it's just too much potential on the table to not include that, not include it as a upgraded title, especially considering how good it looks on Monster Hunter World in terms of the game overall. So thoroughly overall vibed. Uh, love the look of the game. You definitely get a Japanese vibe, which I do like. It seems like it took a lot of inspiration from Monster Hunter Portable Third, I believe. That was like the Japanese exclusive Monster Hunter game, which is pretty dope. Um, oh yeah, and I think I saw like in combat you can incorporate that hook too. It doesn't feel like the hook from Monster Hunter World. It just feels more fluid, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel as heavy, So I'm definitely gonna play it when it comes out for cert. Don't even gotta ask me. Monster Hunter Stories 2, though, I don't know about that. They did talk about that. Not really up my alley. I never got into the first one, never tried the first one. But apparently it's an RPG story focus with turn based combat. Which I don't know, just like Monster Hunter, I just want for Monster Hunter. Maybe down the line, I maybe would play it, but at least initially, no. This is coming summer 2021 apparently. So, yeah, yeah, pretty good announcements though. Love me some Monster Hunter. Love me some damn Monster. Moving on. Some juicy leaks. Obviously grain of salt, but according to 4chan, anonymous leaker leaked that Saints Row 5, well, one is a thing, and two, like just straight up all the details of at least the kind of um outline of this game. So apparently, just gonna pick out some highlights that I found pretty interesting. That is actually a continuation of Saints Row 3's plot. So basically, Saints Row 4 and Get Out of Hell are retconned as like a crazy in universe TV show. So straight up retconning 4 and Get Out of Hell, which personally I am all for. I felt like I think 3 was like a really 2 and 3 were like a really good sweet spot in terms of having a niche of just a Grand Theft Auto clone, but Grand Theft Auto when Grand Theft Auto was older, if that makes sense, where it had like Grand Theft Auto was less realistic before like Grand Theft Auto 4, which I feel like Saints Row kind of scratched that itch for me, where you felt that pretty cool open world, but you had like a lot of the kind of fictional type, like unrealistic ish vibe to it, which I felt like Grand Theft Auto the previous Grand Theft Auto before 4 had. But it's like now with Grand Theft Auto and potentially the next one going to be more realistic. I think Saints Row would definitely have an opportunity to like go in that pocket of having a more filling that niche for people that kind of want it, which personally I do. Kind of having both best of both worlds in a sense where, I do like Grand Theft Auto 5 where it is at now, but I do kind of also like to I don't know, enjoy the over the topness of something like Saints Row 3. So love that detail personally. What else? Oh yeah, this was pretty interesting. The plot about how the Saints become an evil corporate empire similar to Old Thor. So you're playing as a new protagonist with a new cast to support you as you go against the old Saints cast. Main antagonists are old Saints, but also other gangs. Which is that's kind of I'm not sure how I feel about that actually. It's interesting, but I'm not sure how I feel about it and how they will handle it. Cause it's like, I mean, obviously for me at least, I'm just thinking, oh man, I'm gonna have to kill, the old saints I was, grew up with technically in a sense, It's kinda messed up. I hope I don't, but you never know. I guess Gad is still dead, is canonically still dead. He hasn't been brought to life like the Gad out of hell. um technically retconned, but I guess it's retconned back that he's actually dead. So yeah. Um no superpowers, which again that kind of corroborates with no inclusion of, Saints 4 stuff. But yeah, they said tone middle ground between 1, 2, and 3, which I totally love that. Yeah. Just give me a GTA equivalent that's like over the top, like the original ones were. I'm all for it. Cool. I guess 4-player co-op. I wasn't aware of that. 4-player co-op. I think those traditional multiplayer modes are coming back like from Saints Row 2. I don't think Saints Row 3 had multiplayer. It just had co-op. Um so yeah, deathmatch. Please bring back Protect the Pimp. Love that damn mode from the first game. Let's do it. I mean, maybe you could rename it. I understand that, but I would still like it to be still the same. All in all, man, I'm looking forward to it. If it's supposedly true, but I don't know. A lot of this seems pretty tangible, pretty likely. So let's go Saints Row. Let's go Saints Row. Um. Oh yeah, next topic. So apparently this is a straight up rumor, somewhat possibly debunked, but I thought it was an interesting tidbit to bring up either way. Apparently, rumor has it, um, by that man Jeff Grubb, Microsoft has been in talks to acquire Bungie multiple times, but they fell through each time due to Bungie's high price. So I've uh, at least after the fact, Bungie did deny this and said that that hasn't happened, but I don't know. You kind of would think that maybe they might. I don't know, considering what the hit they brought Halo on, um, that maybe they would somehow try to talk with Bungie to do something else. Well, but at the same time, I feel like considering how Bungie left, where they they let them have Halo to move on to Destiny, that maybe they would try to do something else, or I don't know, that maybe Bungie would never want to come back again. But I don't know. Seemed pretty interesting though. But it seems like apparently it's been debunked. But I don't know. Part of me thinks like I don't know. Maybe that probably could have happened. I don't know. then we got leaks of the Oculus Quest 2, um, which looks pretty interesting. Uh, Apparently it's 2K by 2K per eye. So I think the previous one was like 1080p. And actually at a pretty competitive price point with $300. I think there's more for the higher capacity in terms of what you can store on it. But looks pretty cool though. Interested. Probably all sold out right now, but just thought I'd probably a quick tidbit, but just wanted to bring that up anyway. But I think that covers the news. It was leaked, but now it's been officially revealed. So, oh, how could I forget about God of War 2? Oh my God, forgot to mention that. So even though it was like a teaser, but it was like good to get confirmation. God of War 2 Ragnarok, pretty dope. We'll actually be able to fight Thor. Very curious to see how that's gonna play on the PS5. My God, boy, I can't wait. I can't wait. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? Let's get into what I've been up to gaming wise. Um, did I say I finished? Pretty sure I did. Do some editing here. So, actually got back into Gears 5. There was like a triple XP weekend, I think, for the anniversary of the Gears series as a whole. No, I think maybe Gears. I think Gears 5. Either way, it was triple XP. I was like, you know what? Let me jump in. I was like at like level 90 something, I think. And I'm like, let me go ahead and max out my level. Let me re-up. And I did. That's what I did. It was pretty damn quick actually. With triple XP, but thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the improvements they made to Gears. I love now it's not this like one loot box system, this archaic currency you pretty much had to just buy, and instead of like devoting all your time into the game. So that's pretty good. But overall, thoroughly enjoying it, man. I love how you can actually have your focus set on something you want to buy, like an execution or a character skin, and actually be able to buy it after you put in a decent amount of time, not like a unrealistic amount of time for it to be overbearing on other games, but like a legitimate, realistic amount of time. So thank you, Gears, for being better in that respect. Then after that, I had to do it. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. So, for reference, pretty much my only experience with Tony Hawk was Tony Hawk's Underground, which I thought is the best Tony Hawk ever. I played a little bit of the Tony Hawk PC mod, Tony Hawk Pro, which is basically just a modified version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. But I thoroughly enjoyed that too. I didn't play as much as I should. I still have it. I need to probably go back to that at some point. But it's like now Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2's out. I mean, like, what am I gonna do? So, yeah, thoroughly enjoying it. As somebody who's not played the original ones, at least nostalgically or anything like that, or even long enough. I think I got the remake for the 360, but never really played it. Apparently, it's horrible anyway. So, but man, this one I'm thoroughly enjoying it. You can create your character still. Well, I mean, I know you couldn't do that in the original. You were confined to just the standard skaters in the game, but this one you can create your own character. Somewhat limited, but work with what you can get. Create your character and pretty much play through all the levels. What's, I guess, jarring and different from this one, at least my previous frame of reference being Underground, is that it's like a timed focus where pretty much each level the objective is to do all these list of objectives for each level, and then if you do enough you unlock future levels, and that's generally like kind of how it works. So it's pretty much what I've been doing. I guess it's just kind of, well, not jarring, but it feels kind of, what's the word, limiting to have a timer as somebody who played, underground, where it was more, it felt more free roam and more free overall, where you can, like, you have the option to do whatever. You could just skate around if you want, and then you can do the objectives whenever you want to. But it kind of had Tony Hawk, traditional Tony Hawk vibes, where you had your limitations and having to collect some stuff, but it felt more, I guess, accessible. Not really accessible, more so streamlined. That's maybe the better way to describe it. But here it's more classical, where it's the time limit. You have to do so many objectives. I mean, I guess technically you maybe could do them all in one round or go, but it seems very difficult. You have to play the levels a lot, I guess. I don't know. But it seems to be geared for you to play the board multiple times to try to understand the layout, and then learn the layout, and then, kind of conquer the level that way, which is pretty cool. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Actually made my character and trying to, edit his moves to my liking, and stuff like that. Um, I haven't fully. I'm still on one. I guess the one levels. But I'm still trying to figure out if you can create your tricks, which that's one thing I do kind of miss. I doubt you can, but would be cool if you could make your own custom trick. I don't know if maybe that's a reward or for after beating all the levels or something, but I'm kind of doubtful. But that would have been a cool bonus outside of being able to create a skate park and your character. But it's not a deal breaker. It would have been cool though. I don't know, just give you a little bit more originality. Implement my classic move that I freaking love, called the break dance, where I literally super unrealistic, and you can never do in real life, but literally you drop, like I did some drop animation where which was a cool thing about Bug, is that you can combine various moves together to, obviously make it your own, which I did, like a move where you drop and then spin. So it looked like I was breakdancing on my skateboard, spinning at the same time, which is pretty dope. Needed a lot of air to do it, but hey, that move was great. Loved it. Who knows? Maybe they might patch it if it isn't in, but yeah. So they're doing that. The soundtrack, I don't know. As somebody who generally mostly loves hip hop, rap, maybe some techno house, at least not for this game, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was lacking a bit. It felt like way more geared towards people who do, like, alternative rock music, which I do like some tracks, not as much as maybe somebody who played this game, I guess. I don't know. But that led me to start, exploring my own trek of music. So I went I went full hardcore, like two and a half hours. I was just, what? Let me get the soundtrack from Tony Hawk's Underground, because that was a great soundtrack. That had a lot of hip hop as well. Um, Let me get a couple other tracks. So I just mainly just got straight up 90s hip hop and just escaping to that. Man, that is just the greatest. I was talking about it on Twitter a little bit, share my playlist on there. But man, that is just the greatest, man. Makes that game way more fun now. It really does. Just vibe into some just straight fire 90s hip hop rap. Grinding the skateboard, just doing my tricks. Oh, it was great. There is also a free skate mode where, if you don't feel like doing the challenges and stuff, you can't do that, which I was doing just to like, figure out what moves I like and don't like and trying to find my custom special moves and stuff like that. So overall, thoroughly enjoying it. I'm waiting to get into multiplayer until I like fully do all the levels for 1 and 2, but that's at least the plan. After I beat it technically, I'll start playing multiplayer, start showing these fools how to really skate and do these high 1 million combo tricks, because I don't that's why I'm honestly being staying away, because I don't want to make all these people quit from Tony Hawk, because I came in and just made them, return the game because it's like, oh, he's too good. I gotta leave. So just to try and mitigate that, I'm like, you know what? Let me just give them their time. Then when I get on, then they will be sorry for it. But just let them have this. Let them have this. I am totally lying. um, yeah. So, thoroughly enjoying it, man. Also, playing this little game you may have heard about it, called Among Us. I was playing with some friends in Discord yesterday. Man, that game is pretty fun. I've seen it like from afar, not really too closely, follow some of the memes and stuff, but I get it now. Game is pretty fun. Just the all the dynamics that come into it, how socially driven it is, in terms of, yeah, it's pretty great. So for those that don't know, I'll just do a quick rundown. General gist is that pretty much I guess it's pretty much the game really, which I it's funny I say that because I've never even watched the thing, but I kind of know from pop culture references that it's the thing. So basically, essentially, there's like I think up to 10 people, and you can adjust the rules or whatever, but there are, of the however many people you have, there's either one or two, maybe three imposters are basically people that are I guess it explains itself, but you know what I mean. They're imposters. So basically, the goal is for the real people to get rid of the imposters, and obviously for the imposters is to take everybody out. So essentially, there's just all those dynamics that come into play, where it's a matter of trying to figure out who is the imposter, and maybe trying to pick out on people who are trying to lie that they aren't, and just the interesting dynamics that come into that, and come into play, where you're falsely blaming somebody else to cover your own ass and stuff like that, which is it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. I've never seen a game do that or encourage that, or have that be its basis and work so well like this game has. And apparently it's been out for like 2 years now, and then just got super popular now. So, and I think they're already making a sequel or something like that. So I was like, what in the world? But yeah, this game, totally understand the appeal of this game. Is pretty fun. I do recommend it. I think you can't even matchmake. I think you can, but it definitely feels very geared towards people, being like kind of the bread and butter of how you play, rather than strangers. Even though I think there's room for both when I kind of think about it. But either way, that's generally the gist of the game. Highly recommend it if you have the means. I think it's on Steam, which I played it on, and I think Android. I don't think it's on iOS, or it might be the other way around. I forgot. Either way, it's on phone, so you can play that way as well. So highly recommend it. Pretty cheap on Steam too. I think it's $5. So there you go. Pretty much all I've been playing gaming wise. Media wise, Slam Dunk. Followed up a little bit with that. I think did they compete? They competed against this team now. I think they're kind of in the midst of that. Like next time on Dragon Ball Z, will Sakuragi hit this J. Find out on the next episode Dragon Ball, So that's pretty much not much to explain there. I did watch High Score, which is a pretty dope I guess when I say anthology, I guess somewhat anthology of the um I guess the spawn of gaming, if that makes sense. Like it covers a lot of aspects of games. It seems to be like the firsts of each game. eh, I guess specifically in regards to the I guess the highlights of the gaming industry starting out. Like they covered like the Super Nintendo, no, the original Nintendo, like the birth of the cartridge, how the cartridge was made, the story behind ET, um, the story behind the Sega Nintendo rivalry, story behind how Doom came to be. So pretty much a lot of foundational stuff that like was, at least my impression was like the basis of like how a lot of the big things started in the like gaming industry to where we are now, which I think is pretty beneficial for a lot of people who maybe are, I don't know, maybe younger, that maybe hasn't really gotten into games, or maybe just got into games, or maybe just curious about games. I'd even say that. I think it's pretty uh insightful in that respect for like people that maybe aren't familiar with games or curious about like how games came to be. I think it's pretty beneficial for people like that. So um yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's pretty insightful, even as somebody who kind of knew like a fair amount of tidbits of some of these details, but kind of seeing it from this unique angle is pretty insightful and pretty interesting as a show on Netflix. I think it's 6 episodes of about like 40-ish minutes each. I do recommend it though. And that, I think, will conclude episode 73 of Switch's Sites. If you did enjoy this show on your various podcasting platforms, feel free to rate, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Greatly appreciated. If you want to watch this show live, as I record it live, ideally around 4 to 5 p.m. PST, you can catch me on Twitch TV/A Switch, where I I keep saying it. I plan to at some point start streaming again, which I've been kind of making efforts to do on the background in terms of just some stuff. Hurdles are getting in the way in terms of technical issues. Of course, you can also catch the show on youtube.com/aswitch, where I keep the archives of these podcasts as well in video form. If you maybe are that type of person that likes to listen on YouTube, I know I am. So um you can also follow me on Twitter at aswitch, where I do as of late boast about uh shamefully boast about getting a PS5 pre-order, since it's like a rare Pokemon at this point, because I mean it really is. So I feel special because I managed to get a pre-order of a console. So I have to boast about it. I have to let the world know that I did, for some weird reason. I don't know. Yeah. Outside of that, um, oh yeah, if you have any questions you'd like to submit to the show, feel free to submit them at aswishtv@gmail.com as well. Um, Now I think that's it. So thanks for watching, guys. Of course, stay safe. Cause now air ain't even safe anymore. Can't even breathe now. Don't Just stop breathing. That's what I should do, right? Just stop breathing. Just, there's coronavirus. There's the air is polluted now with air quality due to fires happening in my area. It's all bad, man. Let me just stop breathing. How about I just choke myself? This might solve might solve my problem. Let me just stop breathing. Well, right, you know, no. I advise not. You should breathe. You want to live. Um, it's so dumb. Anyway, till next time. Don't cough. Don't touch people that don't want to be touched. Um, get your game on. Oh yeah.